Mr. Luton. As I understand it, my daughter-in-law has retained you to investigate a certain matter for her.
That's correct.
Then I take it you will be a frequent visitor to my house.
It seems likely.
Do you know who I am?
I know that they call you the Count.
Do you know why they call me the Count? Because I am a Count. Count Henning von Überwald. One of the Blints von Überwalds, I ought to add, because frankly, Überwald had an uncountable number of counts. And I'm trapped in Ankh-Morpork at the moment because my current infirmity prohibits me from leaving this room.
That doesn't explain why you wanted to see me.
I wish to know what my daughter-in-law has you investigating.
That's between me and her.
No, Mr. Luton. I rather suspect it isn't. You see, Carlotta's hands are not on the von Überwald purse strings, but mine are.
So you're saying I won't get paid unless I tell you what I'm doing?
No, I'm implying that. Whether or not you actually get paid is a different issue.
What's it to you?
I get very bored. I'm interested as to what goes on around me.
All right. I'm tracking someone for her.
Someone who is missing?
That's right. A man named Mundy.
Oh, I see. Very well. If you keep me informed on the progress of the case periodically, I will ensure that you receive payment.
This is a rather unfortunate camera angle here. And even though he's a count, he looks more like an army general. And saying count, his pronunciation of count got a little bit worrying for a second there.
So if I keep you informed on how the Mundy case is going, you'll ensure that I get paid?
As much as it is in my power to do so, yes.
And what if I mention this to Carlotta? Maybe she's got the money from other sources and doesn't need the family money.
A possibility. Very well. I'll offer to pay you irrespective of whether Carlotta pays you herself.
That seems a little unethical. I'd be betraying the trust of a client.
I'll pay you twice your usual fees.
Well, what do you know? Suddenly I've resolved all my ethical dilemmas.
Ethics are a salve for the poor, Luton.
I am the poor.
You sound as if you are proud of the fact.
The poor are often prouder than the rich. They know that what they have can't be taken away.
Why would anyone want to take their poverty away?
I didn't say the poor were smart. I said they were proud. You said you have to stay in the conservatory. Why?
I'm not a well man, Mr. Luton. It is hard to say how long I have for this world, or indeed if the next world will take me.
What's so special about the conservatory?
Ankh-Morpork is too hot and humid for my tastes. I had the conservatory built especially. It's colder than the rest of the house. I keep it at the temperature I feel most comfortable with.
Why so cold?
You ask too many questions.
I'm an investigator. It's my job.
Well, be thankful that I find your impertinence charming, or else I might be forced to teach you a lesson.
In your condition?
You would be surprised at just what I can do in my condition, Mr. Luton.
He's a count. I'm sure that he can afford to pay someone to do his bidding for him.
So the von Überwalds are wealthy then?
Not compared to some, but we have more than enough to look after our own.
Is Carlotta one of your own?
When she married into us, she became a part of us.
You sound like you don't approve.
My opinions of Carlotta are not the issue. Traditions and ties of blood are stronger than opinions.
But there is no tie of blood between you and Carlotta. She married into the clan.
Mr. Luton, there are ties of blood between all the von Überwalds. In Überwald, blood is very important.
So you're a count?
I am the count, yes.
What's it like?
It's fine. Although one does get the occasional burning desire to tear out the throat of people who ask too many questions. Do I have to draw you a picture?
Yes. I would like that very much.
Do you know the Salaci Mausoleum at all?
I'm aware of it. The Selaci family and the von Uberwalds do occasionally mix in polite society.
By polite society, you mean high society.
Well, certainly out of your reach.
Is there any chance you could show me around it?
Mr. Luton, there is little chance that I will leave this room for you or anyone else, let alone travel halfway across town to give you a guided tour of a mausoleum. Also, I confess, it would bring back happy memories of when I was dating.
You took your dates to a mausoleum?
Sometimes. Sometimes my dates lived in mausoleums.
You dated the dead?
No. The undead. They can be terrible bores sometimes, but most vampires are terribly well bred.
I don't believe that the Count knows about Madame Lodestone or Firma directly, but I think he knows about Malachite.
Do you know a big, dumb troll who goes by the name of Malachite?
Malachite. There's a name I have not heard in many years. Yes, I know of him.
How?
As it happens, he broke into this mansion several years ago and stole several valuable heirlooms that were never recovered. Incredibly, the City Watch was able to catch him before the Thieves Guild did, and he was imprisoned.
For some reason, I decided not to tell the Count that Malachite had escaped. I had a feeling the troll could still be useful to me. Maybe as a rockery one day. Do you know anything about the recent murders?
There are always murders in Uberwald. I don't see why these should be any different.
I was talking about the murders here in Ankh-Morpork.
Mr. Luton, I couldn't be less interested in the petty crimes of this wretched city.
Tell me about Carlotta.
I find it impertinent that you should ask questions so boldly of me.
You'll live.
It is fortunate that I find your manner amusing.
I guess this must be my lucky day.
Very well. Carlotta became a member of the family by marrying my son Ulrich, who is no longer with us.
I'm sorry.
Yes, he returned to Uberwald several years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was dead.
Oh, he is. And, alas, Carlotta is now part of my family, and I have a duty to protect her.
Why do you dislike her so much?
It is not something you should trouble yourself with.
What can you tell me about Monday?
I'm afraid I can tell you nothing. But I would be interested in what you have to say about Monday.
Carlotta says he's an ex-lover and she suspects him of cheating on her.
And you believed her?
Whether I believe her or not is immaterial. Do you know anything about the Milka?
I'm sorry, but I don't get out of the conservatory much.
Alright, we are done here. Now the Count has an undead son, and he likes to date the undead, so does that mean the whole family is undead? With a name like the Count, you can kind of have a guess, but I guess we'll find out soon, maybe.
I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
Now let's get this straight. We're looking for a troll named Therma.
As far as I know, yes, but she may be in here under the name Madame Lodestone.
Okay, then we can rule out the Fornix Sanguis Ceruleus.
What? Does there have to be one?
The Blue Blood Vault. We can probably eliminate the heroic decapitated war veterans vault. and the thoroughbred pet vault. Do you know what relation this troll had to the Selaci family? She wouldn't be buried here if she wasn't.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. It took Carlotta a while to work it out, but we eventually found a Madame Lodestone in the Fornix Famulus, the servitor's vault. Guess she used to keep the floors real clean or something.
Here we are. Madame Lodestone.
There's an inscription. Madame Lodestone, singer and retainer of Lord Robert Selaci, taken from us when her house collapsed, returning her to the rubble from whence she came. Not much of an epitaph. Still, it's more than I expect mine will say. I'll probably end up with whatever's written on the cement bag round my feet. Carlotta? Carlotta? She disappeared without even a word. I couldn't work that woman out. Still, she'd found me the tomb, which left me trying to decide whether or not to tell Malachite.
We will tell Malachite. And I have a question. Carlotta said that she was not dressed for a mausoleum, yet when she was walking around here, I couldn't see anything different about her.
There's an inscription. Madame Lodestone, singer and retainer of Lord Robert Selaci, taken from us when her house collapsed, returning her to the rubble from whence she came. I guess I could have taken a rubbing of the inscription if it wasn't for one thing. I didn't want to. A heavy stone slab covered the tomb of Madame Lodestone, and presumably Therma's body was inside. I tried to move the slab, but it was far too heavy.
Where has the grappling hook gone? We need that.
Hello again, Malachite. No, don't say anything. I know how you'd love to talk, but I'd hate for you to wear out that beautiful voice of yours. So how you been keeping, Malachite? Okay, I guess you don't want to talk about that. This where you're staying at the moment? I guess you're not going to talk about that either. Heard any good jokes recently? How many trawls does it take to change a lamp wick? Want me to give you a clue? I'd learnt that the body of Madame Lodestone, a.k.a. Therma, was in the Selaci family mausoleum. Well, I think I found Therma's body. It's in the Selaci mausoleum.
Need to see body. Take me there.
Okay. Nice to see someone dealing with the grieving process at high speed. Cut straight to the acceptance. It saves a lot of time, doesn't it? I don't know why I bother sometimes. Not as if he's listening to me. Maybe it'd help if I hit him with something, like maybe a really heavy building.
Need to see body.
Of course you do. Here's the tomb.
Need to see body.
Hey, it's going to be pretty ugly in there. I mean, she was crushed under a house. That'd mess up even a trawl.
Need to see body.
Malachite pushed the slab off the tomb like he was opening a jam jar. Inside was some rubble that I assumed was Therma's body. Frankly, there wasn't much to go on. Trawls are rocks, and that's the whole story.
Not Therma. Keep looking.
Are you crazy? How could you tell?
Not Therma. Keep looking.
I was beginning to wonder if Malachite was mad. If he was, I could at least make use of it. Okay, I've got no soul. I must be a heel. All right, I'll keep looking. But I've got a problem. There's this building I need to get into, but I can't do it. I need a grappling iron. A grappling iron like the one you have. Look, I need to borrow your grappling iron. Do you understand?
Give you hook. You find Therma.
That's the deal. I couldn't help but wonder what it meant if that rubble wasn't Therma. Had Sapphire lied to me? I wouldn't be surprised. Frankly, I was more surprised by people telling me the truth than telling lies. Lies flow like water, but the truth burns. That's not a bad line. I better write that down. Malachite gave me the grapple and left the mausoleum without another word.
Wow, Luton. In the previous video, he was threatening violence towards a woman. And now he's saying that all trolls look the same. That's pretty terrible. Now, this is not Therma. There must be a reason why the wrong body was put here. Was it to... Well, I can only speculate, but there must be a reason why this body was placed here. So where is Therma? Is Therma now in hiding? And this is just a cover?
The rubble was definitely the body of a troll. But according to Malachite, it wasn't Therma's body. I examined the body closely, but all I could see of interest were the troll's diamond teeth glinting at me.
It could be a case of mistaken identity, but it doesn't explain why Therma has disappeared.
The glinting diamond teeth of the troll seemed to lure me like a siren. Well, okay, so greed lured me like a siren. Either way, I really wanted one of those teeth. All my best instincts told me not to take the tooth, but I just ignored them.
Right, now that we have the grappling hook, let's head back to Pier 5. We are almost at the end of the first act.
It hadn't been easy getting the grappling iron from Malachite. Of course, even getting a meaningful sentence from Malachite was a challenge.
That was an interesting technique.
The skylight sat on the roof, an inviting alternative entrance.
Now we can actually head back down if we needed to.
The skylight was locked tight.
And the only reason why you would need to head back down is if you had forgotten the crowbar.
I damaged the skylight slightly when I forced it open with the crowbar. Gee, how would I sleep at night? Breaking into the warehouse was easier than I thought. But then I was a natural pessimist. Living in Ankh-Morpork did that to a man. What little light there was in the warehouse was coming through the skylight, and shadows played on the walls as I searched for something to help the case. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I was desperate enough that anything would do.
It is rather dark in here, but the lightning does reveal an item on the floor. Now while I'm examining these crates, you can look around yourself to see if you can find it.
The warehouse was full of crates. I wasn't surprised. That's what the warehouse was for, after all. None of the crates seemed to be of much interest, though. I wasn't about to try carrying a huge crate around with me.
The object is right here.
It looked like a matchbook. Even my paranoid mind couldn't come up with a reason not to pick it up.
Whalebone Lane.
The torn matchbook had been found in the Pier 5 warehouse. There was something written on the back of the matchbook, but a corner of the matchbook had become ripped off somehow. I could make out the words Whalebone Lane, but it was clear that something was missing.
Ooh, we have a puzzle. Now what is missing from here? Hold on.
The scrap of cardboard I'd found on the Milka matched the torn matchbook exactly. A beautiful, glittering diamond. I tried not to think that I had pulled it out of a dead troll's corpse. More importantly, I tried not to think about the fact that I stole it from the Salaci family mausoleum. The reconstructed matchbook clearly read 9 Whalebone Lane.
Now we need to work out where 9 Whalebone Lane actually is. I can't remember if we have actually heard it so far, but my memory is failing me right now. And I have been asking around and showing them this matchbook, but no one has given us a clue. We can examine each of these locations.
The Salaci family mausoleum. The von Uberwald mansion. The Café Ankh. The headquarters of the watch at Pseudopolis Yard. The Octarine Parrot. My office. Rodin's workshop. The Pier 5 warehouse. The wharf.
But as far as I'm aware, we cannot use our inventory here to match things up. But to save time, Whalebone Lane is here.
I'm back, so I can see. Have you seen Sapphire?
She's not here. She went off to see someone.
Who?
Who do I look like? A keeper?
Do you know what this is?
It's a matchbook.
Any reason it might have the address of the parrot written on the back?
None that has anything to do with me.
I knew he was hiding something. The question was, how could I get it out of him? I'm against unnecessary violence. Besides, these skinny types can be tougher than they look. This seems like a nice place.
No, it doesn't. It seems like what it is. A wretched hive of scum and villainy.
It's tough to get to the top in that field. You could have that on a sign outside. Come to the Octarine Parrot, the most wretched hive of scum and villainy this side of the Ankh.
Are you being funny?
Apparently not.
You look a little nervous.
I can't shake the feeling that sooner or later someone is going to get their arm cut off.
Interesting. Why are these repeating? I've just remembered that to progress, I knew there was something in here that I needed to ask, but it momentarily slipped my mind. To progress, we need to ask about Monday again.
I gave Mencken Mundy's description and asked if he'd seen him. He told me that he hadn't, but I was convinced he was lying. The matchbook had to belong to Mundy, and I was sure he was hiding here. So you don't know Mundy?
I've already told you that I don't.
And this matchbook means nothing to you?
Do you practice to become this irritating?
Well, I'm confused. You see, this is Mundy's handwriting on the matchbook, and this is your address he wrote. Shall I tell you what I think?
I don't think I have that much choice.
I think Mundy is here, but he told you not to tell anyone that he's here.
You're just making it up as you go along.
Well, I could always go and fetch the watch. I heard they were looking for Mundy too, and if he's not here, you wouldn't have to worry about being charged with hiding a known fugitive. They can get so impatient.
Mundy's not a fugitive.
How would you know?
You little... All right, you win. He's upstairs, but don't tell him I told you.
I wouldn't dream of ruining your reputation in high society. Until later, Mankin.
See, that wasn't so hard. Right, let's go see Mundy.
I'd gone to a lot of trouble to find Mundy, and now the goal was in reach. It seemed like an anticlimax. I couldn't quite see what Mundy was doing when I entered his room, and seconds later I couldn't see anything at all. The last thing I saw as I passed out of consciousness was the floor rushing up to meet me.